trust you, don't I?
Yes.
Ask my, yeah, we can move on. Okay, so we have, okay, walk me through it. I know it, but I want you to stay with me. Communication skills. What's next?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Next? Status. Okay. Next? Attitude. And culture. All right. So that means everyone that is communicating, myself right now, in my words, you got all this. You see my communication skills, you see my knowledge, you see my status. I mean, in relationship to us right here, right now, it's like I'm the teacher and you're the student, right? I'm the speaker and you're the audience, right? That's the status relationship. And again, status doesn't always mean superior, inferior, this, that. It just means what the relationship is, okay? And then you have attitude, you have culture. So when I communicate and I speak to someone, they are my receiver, all right? So what do I have to know about my receiver in order to communicate? Just like I said Friday, everybody that's talking is not communicating. You can talk, but are you communicating? What's necessary in order to communicate? Who wants to jump on that? What's necessary in order to communicate?
How do they receive it?
How do they receive it? What do they need to be able to do in order to have a communication? Okay, listen.
Have a receiver.
Yeah, have a receiver. Yeah, have a receiver in terms of themselves, right? Let me tell you, what they have to do, they have to have the skill. This one, when this one speaks, they are encoding. Got it? Encoding means putting it in a package, putting in a verbal package, putting it in a package, and I'm going to send it to you, right? So I do that, but I have to do that with an awareness of my receivers.
Communications. Decoding.
Huh? Yeah. See? The receiver decodes. So if I'm going to communicate with someone, I need to know what their communication skills are. I need to know what their knowledge is with regard to the subject that I'm communicating with them, right? I need to know what their status is in relationship to me. I need to know what their attitude is about what I'm talking about. Because if you're talking to somebody, about something that let's call it, and I'm not, but I'm just saying, I'm a Democrat and I'm talking to a Republican, right? Well, then I need to know, how Republicans communicate about whatever I'm talking about. Immigration bill. I'm just grabbing something that's off the headlines right now, right? So I'm talking about immigration. Now, if I already know I got a position that I want to move them to, or I want to present to them, I need to know all these things about them before I open my mouth to talk about this, in order to communicate with them, right? And you can see there's a whole nother level of engagement here, because then you're talking about how do I argue? See, I can have all this information to communicate with them, but now I actually want to have them change their position. So that's a whole nother skill set that's involved in not just grasping this, but now how do I use what I know about this in order to bring about a change in their thinking on whatever the matter might be that we're addressing. And then also, I need to know about their culture, right? And if you speak to young people, when you speak to young people, you can't talk like you talk to me. Yeah, I have some files of material, urban high school, charter school situation, some conversation I gave. He would say, "Is that the Imam?" No, it's like, yeah, because I know who I'm talking to. And because I know who I'm talking to, I know the message I want to get across, and I know how they interpret and translate my terminology and what gets their attention. By doing so, then I get my message across to them, inshallah. So you have all this. So whenever you're doing that, you have the encoding, you have the decoding, and then you have to know this about the other person. So now if you're the receiver, then that's what you have to do. Find out about your speaker. And then now you're listening, right? So this is what has to be had. One more thing to add to this. In every communication, there's some noise. Yes. All right? Now, 2-3 seconds, nobody say anything. You hear that? What do you hear? The air recognition.
Silence.
Say again.
Silence.
Silence. You're aware of that. Okay? So, in every communication, but see, when we're communicating, we block that noise out. It's sort of like you don't pay attention until somebody brings your attention to it, right? The moving, if we would, as we are doing recording, if we have a more sensitive recorder, this sensitive recorder be picking up stuff like, wow, you know, cricks in your, even when your knee pops, you know, it's like cracking knuckles or whatever. Right? So noise. Now, in male-female communication, it's in every communication. When we talk about male-female communication, there's also noise that's involved, and it comes up also as emotional noise. Psychological noise. So if I start talking about a subject that's sensitive to you, and you being sensitive to that subject, and then now it's like your back talk, your feedback inside your head. You have a conversation, battling the words that I'm communicating to you. You're no longer listening. You're having a fight inside your head with what I'm saying, right? If you have an attitude about me, then you're like, hey, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, you ain't heard nothing that was said. That's noise. Okay? And we have to be aware of that noise, your own noise especially. What is it that keeps ringing through my head that's causing me to not really hear? Remember, everybody that's hearing is not listening, so have me to really hear it, because sometimes we fail to hear what the other person is saying because of the noise that's going on in our head around our either lack of knowledge or our attitude and so many other things in there, or status. It can be any one of those things. Now, who do you think he's talking to? So you got a different idea about status relationships, and the words that were just spoken were saying, no, you don't talk to me like that. So now we got a problem. There's no communication there. Where's the conflict? The conflict came up in the status conflict. Okay? So understand that. So let's move into something real quick. Let's go ahead and talk about on the listening level. So here, all this is coming out in a communication, right? So then, now, we have to know how to listen. As we spoke in talking about, in speaking in the Juma, there's just so many things. As we said, the subject being, the life of the Muslim. But when you also understand life, so many ways, so many levels on which so many people are dead and they really think they're alive. If you think, yeah, I got it going on. It's like you're not even existing on the human plane, right? Or you may be alive in one quadrant and you think that that's all the life there is. But the complete life, the whole life means the full expression of all of your competencies, all of your capabilities, all of your potential, everything hitting on all cylinders. I mean, you are alive on all levels. That's a lifetime task. And sometimes we can get packed into and tracked into just focusing on the element that we get excited about, that we feel strong about, or that we feel capable in, and we wind up neglecting 3/4 of our life, focusing on that one thing that we're strong in. It's really important. So the idea is to be alive in all aspects of our life, right? Being whole. See, that's another thing having to do with holy. People have this idea about holy, sanctimoniousness. Whereas holy means being a whole person.